It's a model that basically tries to understand what drives success in sustainability. The goal is long-term corporate financial performance. I say that because we are in for-profit enterprises. The goal of businesses is to make money. How do you do that? Well, there are various inputs, resources, constraints that companies have. And then the Vice President of Sustainability is sitting right here in this leadership position and has the option of adopting certain sustainability strategies, systems, programs, and organizational structure. The outputs are going to be, or outputs or outcomes, are going to be financial performance and something we call sustainability performance. Michael Porter, have you read about Michael Porter, a strategy professor, a strategy writer? Michael Porter says you can create what he calls innovation offsets. An innovation offset says with creativity, with innovation, you can drive success in a win-win situation. That is, you can create win-win by reducing packaging, which improves sustainability performance and reduces financial performance. So you can do that. But you can't do it all the time. Sometimes, either you're going to have to, you may end up with some social costs in your manufacturing process, and to clean those social costs up may improve sustainability performance, but not financial performance. And so what we're trying to do is see which actions we can take will directly affect financial performance, which actions will affect sustainability performance alone, and which actions will affect sustainability performance have positive stakeholder reactions leading to positive corporate financial performance. What do I mean by stakeholder reactions? We're all stakeholders. What is stakeholder? What action do stakeholders take? Well, they can buy more products, or they can boycott products. They can decide to work for a company, good HR policy, or they can decide not to. Legislators can decide to increase or decrease legislation. Suppliers can decide to supply or not supply. So each of these stakeholders is going to have a reaction which is going to affect long-term corporate financial performance. What I want to do is get companies to think in advance about what those likely impacts are going to be so that they can make decisions and integrate this into capital investment and operational decision making in advance rather than after the fact. General Electric. General Electric is a really interesting company. Jeff Immelt doesn't buy into sustainability at all. Jeff Immelt is the CEO of GE, and he will admit he's not big on sustainability. What he's big on is making money. He says this. What GE has done is made one of the most important commitments to social and environmental issues of any company in the world. Why? Because General Electric thinks there is big money to be made in environmental issues. I don't spend any time thinking about motives. That's not what this is about for me. What it's about is being more sensitive to social and environmental issues and to improving society through business. Jeff Immelt, General Electric, has sales exceeding $10 billion a year on environmental technologies. Jeff Immelt says, I think the two big issues for the coming decades are environmental issues and health issues. I'm going to focus our energies on trying to build more environmental technologies and more health technologies because that's what our society is going to need. Our society is going to care more about environmental issues, climate change, etc. And as our society gets, as our lifespan gets longer, We live longer, more health needs. Bill Joy, co-founder of Sun Microsystems. The next big thing, greatest creation of wealth today, is in the green area. Not just in the US, but also in the developing world. New fuels, new green technologies. This will create the Googles and Microsofts of the new era. The opportunities in social and environmental impacts, either in creating new products or being more sensitive to the impacts as you get involved in whatever products you're producing, is a big opportunity. Unilever, perhaps the biggest catalyst for change, is that many of the big social and environmental challenges, once seen as obstacles to progress, have become opportunities for innovation and business development. Has a wonderful program which uses micro-entrepreneurs, 50,000 women selling Unilever products. Helps the environment, helps the community, helps these women make a living. Climate change, big opportunities. Again, and as I mentioned with water recently, just a few minutes ago, the concerns over these issues creates risks and it creates opportunities. Just think about what opportunities are. We think about risks, but the flip side of a risk is an opportunity. That is, if you may see a risk in something, and that may cause you to say, I'm not going to do this, too risky for me. Okay, but I may have certain knowledge or certain resources, or a certain risk appetite that allows me to do something that you don't want to do. So sometimes people do things, so some things that you may be afraid to do that I've done 20 times already, I feel pretty confident. I've done it 20 times, I can do it a 21st time. So what opportunities are when companies say, I can do this, even though some other company doesn't want to. A perfect example, the 1990s, the US government was pushing heavy on legislation to increase the gas mileage required of automobiles. Ford Motor spent most of the 1980s and 90s fighting that legislation. Toyota decided to build a Prius. What they said is there's an opportunity here. No one in the US is doing anything other than fighting the government. Why don't we make a car that has higher gas mileage? And they produced the Prius, and the Prius has dominated and still dominates the hybrid market. Has dominated since it started being produced in 1992, and still controls 50% of the market. Whereas the other 25 automobiles that make 25 hybrid automobiles share the other 50%. First mover advantage, but it's really a show that demonstrates how you can get the opportunities. This is some of the work I've done in innovation, and it's just maybe an interesting way for you to think about this. For me, companies have a choice of thinking about whether you're going to play to win or play not to lose. That is, are you really going to try for a breakthrough technology? Are you really going to try something new? One of the companies I work with is Nissan. Nissan is going for a play-to-win strategy. They're saying, look, we can try to do another hybrid and get another 1 or 2 miles per gallon out of this. We're not doing that. We're going for the electric car. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know if they'll get the sales they hope to get. But Nissan, I was at their factory in Tennessee, which is their US manufacturing headquarters. They're expanding their factory. They're taking 40% of their factory, converting it to electric. Then they're expanding another 40% to build batteries. They're playing to win. Some companies play not to lose, which is the Ford story in the 80s and 90s.